Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma and here we talk about simple living on a budget. Today's video I'm going to be sharing with you how I paid off $25,000 of student loan debt in less than a year and a half. To give you guys a brief overview, I owe about $140,000 left on my student loans. In total, I started with almost $166,000, so paying off $25,000 in a year and a half is really not the biggest accomplishment I could have, but it's something that I'm still really proud of, and it's really important when you're on such a long debt-free journey like myself that you celebrate your milestones along the way. So the first thing that I did to start paying off this debt is I actually started following Dave Ramsey's baby steps. So I had baby step 1 complete when I started. I already had $1,000 in savings, and then went ahead and put the rest of what I had in savings right to the principal payments I had, and then continued on making a budget every time I got paid, and then I would use that money to pay off my debt. So I would budget my monthly expenses, and then whatever I had left is considered your snowball, and I would put all of that right towards my lowest balance debt, and I just kept working my way up. This $25,000, I actually paid off about 6 student loans with that money, and then I've started making progress on my 7th loan. In order to do this, I have lived on a very tight budget. So I budget every single dollar that I take in and then use that money according to my priorities. So the first thing that I did to cut a lot of costs is I actually moved back in with my parents. So prior to this journey, I was paying about $900 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. I had a roommate for a few months, but she was only there on a temporary basis. So after that, I was paying $900 by myself for a 2-bedroom apartment. So that was a huge expense I was able to cut by moving home, which means that about $900 I was allowed to put additionally towards my debt because it freed it up. I also, when I moved back with my parents, I was living about 500 miles away from home, so I got a new job when I moved home, and I got a huge raise when I did that, which was really nice. I ended up making about $400 extra per paycheck, which really adds up big time when you're trying to pay down your debt. In addition to that, I also made an investment in myself, so I went back to grad school, I cash flowed that, and I did it in 2 semesters, so it didn't cost me as much money instead of prolonging it. And then because I had a graduate degree, I ended up getting a promotion at work after I graduated. So it was an investment, and then within a year of me having a full-time job, which I will be at a year with this promotion in June, then it will have paid for itself already. So in order to do this, I have cut all unnecessary costs. So I do not budget for clothing, I do not budget a ton of money for fun. I do have to give myself a little bit of money because it's really hard to stick to a debt-free journey this long if you're constantly just putting all of your money to debt and not enjoying anything. I also started working a lot of overtime. So far in 2020, I've made almost $6,000 in overtime, and with everything going on, I'm sure it will not be readily available like it was. But I took advantage of it, and I'm so grateful I did, because any extra overtime money I had, I was able to put toward debt, and that makes a huge difference when you add to your income, because there's 2 ways to pay off debt. You can either bring in more money or spend less money, so I was trying to do both. And while paying off this debt, something else that I'm really proud of that I did is I saved an additional $18,000 to spend on a car. That seems like a lot of money to spend on a car probably to most people, but it's going to be paid for in cash, and I wanted to get a car that would hopefully last me through the rest of my debt-free journey, and so I shouldn't be done with that probably until the middle or end of 2022, so I didn't want to get another cheap car and then have to spend a ton of money on repairing it while I was trying to get through this hard time. I wanted to just be able to spend the money on it and hopefully have a car last me 5 to 6 years, and then after that consider getting something a little bit newer that I'm interested in. This is just a brief overview about how I paid off $25,000 on my principal student loan payments. It is a lot to some and probably not a lot to others, but it's not a huge chunk of my debt, but I'm very thankful that I've been able to make as much progress as I have, considering that I've only been working since the middle of 2017, and I've been focused on paying off my debt since the beginning of 2019. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, do not forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.